The Cardano ecosystem is dominated by one single NFT marketplace at the moment, and that's JPEG Store. They provide a fantastic service. They allow users to buy, sell NFTs on the Cardano ecosystem, and they do an absolutely fantastic job about it. The only downside is that with that domination brings lack of innovation and being able to pivot and move off to different areas. And it's really good to see other projects come into the space and try and bring up some new ideas, new concepts, and new mechanisms to bring the NFT marketplace from where it is now in the Cardano ecosystem to a more evolved ecosystem. And I have Tony from Flipr.io joining me on this episode to talk about what their platform is offering. They haven't quite launched yet. I did this interview at NFTCon, and they were planning and hoping to actually launch a little bit later after it, but they're still going through testing and all that stuff and going through their beta phase at the moment. So they're still testing and making sure that their platform's really, really good. Now, let's get to this interview. So I have Tony joining me here from Flipr, a brand new NFT marketplace, and I'm pretty interested about this one because they're taking a slightly different approach in regards to how they're doing things. I think they're taking their time to build a lot more features and bring a lot more features to the Cardano ecosystem as well. So Tony, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
So I'd like to learn a little bit more about your background and how you got to the point where you are now to building out an entire marketplace in a very competitive space as it is. How'd you get here? How'd you get into crypto?
How did I get into crypto? So I first stumbled across Ethereum in around 2017, and I was actually doing some side projects and working on learning how to build up my smart contract knowledge and these sorts of things and start to build dApps. And I had reasonable success building a few things here and there, experimented with Ethereum, experimented with Algorand, and then one day somebody sort of mentioned to me, hey, you should try Cardano. And I never really always just kind of wanted to play with things and explore and see what could be built. And straight away, quite enjoyed building applications on Cardano. I think it worked a bit nicer for my brain for some reason.
Right.
And spoke to one of my co-founder, Harry, and just kind of took the few ideas that we had and ran with them, yeah.
Fantastic. Now, you started off with NFT projects first.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah, so myself and Harry, we founded NFT Ghost Chain. And we wanted that to be a utility project. Of course, ironically, we took the name Ghost Chain.
Yeah.
And we wanted to layer on as much utility as possible for the people holding that NFT Ghost Chain. And it's going quite well so far. We started building free roam, and it went for about 3 months until we realized that we had to revise what we were doing.
Yeah.
And it served a really good purpose of bringing the whole team together. It made us focus on what was actually important. We made a few mistakes, and then we rebranded to what was at the convention the last couple of days, Flipr. And that's sort of now, that's our pitch, that's our 9 months of work, everything that we've been working through, pushing through, trying to push boundaries here and there. Everything's inside of Flipr.
That's where it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've heard a little bit about the platform and what you guys are trying to build, and I've gotten some really exciting snippets out of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much you can share at the moment, but can you tell us what the point of difference is for this particular marketplace? Because we have quite a few dominant marketplaces at the moment,
Sure.
one in particular.
Yeah.
So how are you guys going to compete with that at the moment and I guess get more market share?
Yeah, so it's a tricky problem to overcome. With any marketplace in any industry, really, it's a chicken and egg problem. You need sellers and you need buyers.
Yeah.
And you don't get either one unless you have the other one. So you need to find innovative ways, and marketing is certainly plays a part of that, but also features and more exciting things and experimenting with new things is really important as well. So we've tried to do a fair share of both. We've been adding in a lot of different features. I can share them here. It's okay. They were on display in the middle of the convention, so
yep.
We can share them. There's a referral program, so if you want to refer other people to Flipr, you can. And I think that's, again, something that's done on the smart contract level. It's no admin work for us, and I think that's quite exciting to just sort of say, here you go, crypto community, really, you don't have to be involved with Cardano to do that referral program. That's quite exciting, just say, here it is. If you like our project, you can share it around, and who knows, maybe that goes goes viral or something exciting. And then we've also got bundles. We have another big one that I know the team worked really hard on was native token trading. And all of these things combined open up a really interesting and I think help mature the ecosystem a little bit. So you can have bundles of Yummy selling for Yummy token, which has never been done before. And of course, there's iterations on these ideas. You can start doing oracles, you can start doing price swapping. So you receive the token you want and I pay in the token that I want. And all of these things are really important because at the moment I think we have tokens like Yummy or our native Flip token or whatever token it is. We have these tokens and we can start to interact with more and more things. We can stake them, we can put them on MinSwap, we can put them on another platform, we can maybe buy other NFTs or mint something with it. But until there's a bit more cross-pollination between the projects, so I can buy a Pavia plot with Yummy, I can sell my Ape Society for something else. And I think it's important for the ecosystem to start being able to share those tokens around. Otherwise, it's fairly 2D. We need to have a 3D ecosystem of it.
Okay, so everything you said is huge. Yeah, this is all stuff people have been waiting for. Like projects would absolutely love this, to be able to give utility for their tokens so that people can buy more NFTs as part of the project, or different things or collaborations that projects do can go through your platform. But let's go back to the referral system first and how the mechanics of that work, because I was talking to Ryan from Goofy Gophers about that, and it just blew my mind. It's like, what? You can do that? Can you explain how the referral system works for a user that has absolutely no technical skills or no interest in NFTs even?
Sure, so you don't actually have to be interested in NFTs or really even crypto. You would need a crypto wallet, and you'd need to create a Flipr account once we go live. And then just basically, like any other affiliate program or referral program, activate your referral account. You're going to get a link, and if you share that link, provided you bring us somebody who hasn't used Flipr before, then you're going to receive 25% of the marketplace fees. We're not going to take that. And I think that's also something that myself and my co-founder Harry have been speaking a lot about, is that in order for the marketplace to win, everybody else has to win first. If the NFT projects die, nobody's going to want to get involved. We need them to thrive, and we need them to have the resources and the capital to let the good and the best projects survive and also expand. And so this really provides an extra lifeline, definitely for influencers, even such as yourself, and it can be another lifeline for projects, or just a side hustle for somebody who's really excited about the project.
Yeah, the way I saw it when Ryan was explaining it to me is like when he's onboarding users to his project, he's got the referral code within his Discord channel or Twitter account, and new users are coming in, and they get 25% of those fees for life for those customers that come in. Is that right? For life. That's really big. So as your platform grows and you go maybe even over to different ecosystems, different chains, that is a continuous flow of income for that person that has contributed their efforts to help grow your platform in an early stage.
Exactly. So we've spoken to a lot of projects whilst we were here, and some on cross-chain as well. So we spoke to Sky Harbor. The founder there is really nice, really friendly. And we were sort of discussing these ideas, and we all sort of realized that, it's not really, myself and Harry, we don't really want to make money from the marketplace. We want to try and build it and see where it goes. As long as it's sustainable and break even, we're going to be redistributing a lot of that to projects and holders. And obviously it has to be done very carefully, but we've thought about this for almost a year consistently now. I don't know if I look really tired, but
You're doing well.
We've put a lot of thought into this.
Okay, so you also mentioned that you have your own native token. We'll talk about that in a moment, and also your funding mechanism as well. So I can see where that's coming into play. But let's go back to the other aspect about the native token payments for projects as well. So I'm coming in, I'll create a brand new token. How is that mechanic going to work? Like, do I have to register the token? Is it like completely decentralized and anyone can just jump on and set that up?
have been speaking to some projects like Dirtbirds and others that have a native token that is has a slightly lower total value locked, because we think it's really important to include those as well. We don't want to cut those off, and so we're experimenting with ways that we can do that safely.
Yeah.
The only reason I mention the safety side of it is because you need a specific total value locked to basically avoid price manipulation. So if I'm an innocent trader, I have a bunch of expensive dead pixels, for example, and I list all 100 of them for sale in a native token, somebody could use that as an opportunity to get them for free. Let's say these add up to, if they're dead pixels, they're going to be quite expensive. So let's say it's 100 or 200,000 ADA. I might be able to dump the price of that token to zero for only 10,000 ADA if there's not enough total value locked. So at the moment, we're keeping it on projects such as Mint Token, we've got Society, we've got Yummy, and all of these tokens have quite a high total value locked. We've drawn the threshold at around 500,000. And
500,000 ADA?
500,000 ADA, yes, sorry. And so if your token is above that, then we can safely integrate it.
Right, gotcha.
And it's a slightly dynamic process. Of course, nobody's done this yet, so we're drawing it there temporarily. And as it progresses, we're just going to make sure that that total value locked never exceeds the value that is actually locked. So you'd always have to invest more to dump the token than is locked on that token.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yes, it does make sense, and it's a good protection mechanism. I didn't think about that whole manipulation side of things, but you're right. Some big whale can come in, dump the price, and completely get all those dead pixels for free. Yes, exactly. Scary setup. But I guess as a user, also when you're listing up something for sale, you say what native tokens you want to set to, right?
Yeah. So we have off the top of my head 6 or 7 native tokens now that meet that threshold. So when you list the token, you can only interact with those ones. But pretty quickly, we're going to have the JED. I know SIG USD from the Ergo side. Anybody watching that's a fan of Ergo, that bridge is going to be live soon. And so I think SIG USD is actually going to come before the JED, which means we might experiment with that first. Because it's just going to be another native token. And of course, we need to look into that threshold and how that's going to work. And if we can do it safely and securely, it'll be on there.
Wow, okay. I didn't realize Sigma USD will be out before JED.
They might beat the JED,
Oh, okay. All right, cool. We'll see what happens. They wouldn't be too happy about that, I think.
Maybe not.
Yeah, but I think stablecoins is a really big and important aspect of the ecosystems and marketplaces as well. We have such a fluctuating price in ADA from time to time, and having some sort of stable price to buy things at will be absolutely fantastic. So that would be a really cool and new addition for you. And I don't think any other marketplace currently has that ability at all.
Not on Cardano. So we spoke to Tan from Sky Harbor. I know it's something that they've got already on there. So it's, and also of course on OpenSea and other NFT marketplaces, they have a much more just mature ecosystem. So it's up to somebody in Cardano to say, hey, let's give it a shot. Let's make sure we try and do it as securely and safely as we can.
Okay.
And there it is. Let's see how people enjoy it.
These innovations are really cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, what about the native token? So you've got the Flipr native token. What is that going to be used for in the ecosystem? I'm assuming it's part of your funding mechanism as well.
Yes.
But what other utility can we find from it?
So we have taken a lot of inspiration from projects that came before us, not just in Web 2, but also Web 3. Inspiration from the likes of OpenSea, LuxRare, Binance, all of these projects that have started out with basically just a few $1 million of funding and then took that vision and just really ran with it. And I think most of it was just experimentation and following passion. Because nobody really knows where the space is going to be next year. And so we don't have a roadmap, but we have a vision, and we try and communicate that vision as best we can, which is tooling for all of you guys. Projects, community members, just people who are interested in crypto. We want to give you as much tooling as possible. We don't want to build all of the tooling ourselves because we know we don't always build the best stuff. Sometimes somebody else is just really good at that one thing and they build an amazing minting service, for example, and we don't want to just compete with that. We want to allow other projects to come in and do that. So we want to be this sort of hub for great crypto tooling. And so the Flip token will basically be the bedrock of that ecosystem.
Gotcha,
And
okay.
we're going to slowly expand out. Of course, we're going to have listing rewards. So if you list your NFT that is in the top 100 trading volume, you're going to get some listing rewards for that in Flip token, provided that it's close enough to the floor price. And then, of course, sale rewards as well, purchasing rewards. It's going to be used as a reward-based token on the Flipr marketplace.
Yep.
And then pretty quickly, we're going to start experimenting with more ideas. We've already experimented with like 3D clothing and how that can be both physical and digital at the same time, and start to experiment that way and experiment in just basically wherever the passion and inspiration goes. Really.
Very cool. 3D clothing, what do you mean by that?
So we actually trialed this at the event. It was pretty successful. We had a metaverse compatible, so it was in the correct format for the likes of Achua or Pavia to bring that asset into the ecosystem. But you could also buy it, get the NFT that was compatible, and then also get the actual hat as well.
Cool.
It's really good for us because then we know exactly how many to make. For example, if we sell 117, we know we're going to need around 117 hats, maybe a little more for a margin of error. But then we don't have any under or over accumulation.
Yeah, I love that reward system mechanism in there. It really incentivizes people to come in to the ecosystem. So one, you got this referral fee, referral commission. So projects are people being brought in, then incentivized to actually use the platform as well, trade on there. So I can see all that flowing through. Absolutely brilliant there too. Now, so in terms of the development of all this, I know you have a slightly smaller team than what some of the other projects out there have. How big is the team? How many people working on it? And how long have you been working on this?
So we first minted our NFT project, which is sort of the spawning ground for all of these kind of crazy ideas. We did that back in September, October. So it's just our 1 year anniversary.
Hooray.
Hooray. Wish I had a little flag. But so we've been working on it for about a year now. And pretty quickly, we realized that we didn't want a really big team just because this space moves really quickly. And I think personally, it's just a business decision that we made. You don't stay competitive for as long as you would like. Of course, maybe that will change, or maybe you just need to improve management. But we're going to stay pretty lean for as long as we can. It's also useful from a startup perspective. You don't lose as much money as quickly on hiring. But we have myself and Harry as the two co-founders, and then we both make technical contributions and design contributions, and sort of just try and guide it in the right direction. And then we have 3 more core developers as well that are helping us just flesh out the marketplace with new features as quickly as we can, because I know a lot of people really want some of these things. We hear about it on a daily basis, more or less. And then we've got an operations manager, Barney, and then we've got a legal team as well.
Okay. Okay, really decent team there, and interesting that you've engaged with a legal team for that. What legal aspects are you looking at in regards to the marketplace?
So I think a lot of people get concerned about NFTs or just generally in crypto things being classified as securities. Of course, I'm not a lawyer, so we need to speak to other people who are completely invested in that, and to always make sure that we're not in any legal gray area. So sometimes we step back from saying something until we've spoken with them first. And then once we are definitely outside of the legal gray area, then we can talk about it, basically.
Okay. Very, very safe approach. Definitely. Now, I've heard from Harry that the platform is going to be open source. Is that correct?
Eventually, we're going to make as many open source tooling things as we can. We don't want to close off these things. And we've spoken to a lot of projects that really make also great tools. And we want to, if we can and if they want, to be able to incorporate those really easily into the Flipr marketplace. Just because I think it enriches it. It also means that if you really like this one community, you can help support that community by using their tool. Or perhaps just give it a try and try something else.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Okay. Last few questions here.
No problem.
In terms of funding, how are you guys funding yourself? So obviously you released the Ghost Chains NFT, so that was really good. I think you sold out really quickly on that one, didn't you?
We sold out, I think at the time, it was considered slow. I think maybe now it would be considered fast.
Yeah.
But we weren't really too worried about how quickly it would sell. We were more worried about communicating the vision and made sure we had the right holders on board. We didn't want people who didn't understand it. And so we don't have the most amount of holders. We have about 900, which for a 10,000 project is a little low. But everybody in there is diehard. They are ravenous, and they want this to succeed. And that's exactly the sort of people we want on our team and in our corner.
And that was, I guess, your first initial amount of funding for the project. And how are you funding yourselves now? Like, I'm assuming it's a fairly large team, and legal costs are quite high.
They are, yeah.
Yeah. How much funding have you guys got? What's your timeline in terms of burn rate?
So our burn rate is probably between 2 to 3 years, because we run a really lean operation. Of course, if we hire 5 more people, I'm sure we could see it off in 6 months. But we really want to make sure that we are here for, even if Flipr has to pivot 5 more times to find its right place, that we can do that. I know myself and Harry are capable to do that. We've sort of already done it once with Free Roam. Free Roam served a purpose of just bringing the team together. It didn't achieve what we originally thought it might. We kind of thought when we did it and we launched it, we're like, yes, this is it. This is going to be Free Roam. This is the marketplace, and a lot of people got behind it. But after a few months, we realized that it wasn't. So we want to be able to pivot and continue to make tooling that's really useful. And so we also have in our mind the, I guess, philosophical decision of we don't want to raise centralized funding. We don't want to sell, 10, 20, or 50% equity to some parties. We want to open it up to the community, given the fact that it's going to be community tooling, and they're going to have a big say in how it should be shaped and also be rewarded in the token. We think it only makes sense to also say, hey, if you like Flipr, that's our pitch. If you believe in it, check it out, use it. And if you like it, then check out how you can get involved more heavily with the Flip strategic sale. Hopefully that's going to be opening this quarter. Of course, there's a lot of legal hoops to do with to jump that. And it's going to be in association, most likely, with an exchange that's going to help us launch that in a safe way. Looking forward to it.
So what is the launch of the full platform with these features? What's the timeline looking like for that?
So all the features I mentioned, the bundles, we've got a multi-listing feature, all of these things that I've been mentioning, they're going to be from launch. And we could launch it now, but it's going to take a couple more days of testing. We want proper testing. We want we want to get some whales in our test group basically to use it. And if they give us the thumbs up, say, hey, it works with my massive wallet and my thousands of NFTs, that's the green light we want. And so we're really close to that, but definitely within the next 2 weeks.
Wow, okay. Really excited for the launch. I'm looking forward to it. I'll definitely play around with it at launch date and play around with all these features. I'll do video tutorials for everyone so they can get really good understanding of it. But Tony, thank you so much for joining me on this podcast. Where can people go to engage with you, the community around Flipr, and everything else?
So the best place is on Twitter. That's where we're most active. So that's Flipr_IO. And it's Flipr spelled the Web 2 way. No P and no E.
Excellent, awesome. Tony, thank you so much for doing this. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks so much.
Awesome.
Now, if you guys want to find out more, all the links are in the show notes down below for you, so you can find out a bit more about the platform, where they're up to in their launch process at the moment, and also engage with their community so you can learn a little bit more about the platform. If you really enjoyed this content, please consider giving me that thumbs up, click subscribe, click on that notification bell, and hear more awesome Cardano related content from me. I'll see you in the next video.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast. Gotta get it hype. Crypto is what we like, but this is not investment or financial advice. Gotta do your research, cause it's risky. We know it is. This show is educational and it's informative. Crypto's the future, really is.